Krishna book, second volume, chapter 28, Draupadi meets the queens of Krishna. So there were many visitors who came to see Krishna. Oh, we read that, okay. I will just read the few lines we already started the other day. You are the ultimate destination of all liberated person. Out of your independent will only, you have descended on this earth by the use of your own internal potency, Yogamaya. And in order to re-establish the Vedic principle of life, you have appeared just like an ordinary human being. Since you are the Supreme Person, there cannot therefore be any ill luck for one who has fully surrendered unto you. Haribo. So when Lord Krishna was busy meeting various kind of visitors, and while they were engaged in offering prayers to the Lord, the female members of the Kuru dynasty and the Yadu dynasty took the opportunity of meeting with one another and engaging in talk of Lord Krishna's transcendental pastime. That's what the Brajbasi does. The first inquiry was made by Draupadi to the wives of Lord Krishna, and Draupadi addressed them as follows. My dear Rukmini, Bhadra, Jambavati, Satya, Satyabhama, Kalindi, Saibya, Lakshmana, Rohini, and all other wives of Lord Krishna, will you please let us know how Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality Godhead, accepted you as his wives and married you in pursuance of the marriage ceremony of ordinary human beings? To this question, the chief of the queens, Rukmini Devi, replied to Mother Draupadi as follows. My dear Draupadi, it was practically a settled fact that princes like Jarasandha and others wanted me to marry King Shishupal. And is as usual, all the princes present during the marriage ceremony were prepared with their armor and weapons to fight with any rival who dared to stop the marriage. But the Supreme Personality Godhead kidnapped me the way a lion takes away a lamb from the flock. This was not, however, a very wondrous act for Lord Krishna, because anyone who claimed to be a very great hero or king within this world is subordinate to the lotus feet of the Lord. All the kings touch their helmets to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. My dear Draupadi, it is my eternal desire that the life after life I may be engaged in the service of Lord Krishna, who is the reservoir of all pleasure and beauty. This is my only desire and ambitions in my life. Unquote. After this, Satyabhama began to speak, and she told Mother Draupadi as follows. My dear Draupadi, my father was very much afflicted on the death of his brother Prasena, and he falsely accused Lord Krishna of killing his brother and stealing the Syamantaka jewel, which had actually been taken by Jambavan. Lord Krishna, in order to establish his pure character, fought with Jambavan and rescued the Syamantaka jewel, which was later delivered to my father. My father was very much ashamed and sorry for accusing Lord Krishna of his brother's death. After getting back the Shamantaka jewel, he thought it wise to rectify his mistakes. So although he had promised others my hand in marriage, he submitted the jewel and myself at the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna. Haribol. And thus I was accepted as his maidservant and wife. What a wonderful explanation they are giving. Huh? After this, Jambavati replied to Mother Draupadi's question. She said, "My dear Draupadi, when Lord Krishna attacked my father Jambavan, the king of the Rakshas, my father, did not know that Lord Krishna was his former master, Lord Ramchandra, the husband of Sita. Not knowing the identity of the Lord Krishna, my father remained continually engaged in fighting with him for 27 days. Haribol. After this period, when he became very tired and fatigued, he could understand that since no one but Lord Ramchandra could defeat him, his opponent, Lord Krishna, must be the same Lord Ramchandra. He thus came to his senses and not only immediately returned the Samantaka jewel, but in order to satisfy the Lord, he presented me to him to become his wife. So in this way, I was married to the Lord, and thus my desire to remain life after life as a servitor of Krishna was completely fulfilled." Unquote. So this is amazing when Draupadi is naming all these personalities. All the personalities named are responding. After this, Kalindi says, quote, "My dear Draupadi, I was engaged in a great austerities and penances in order to get Lord Krishna as my husband. When Lord Krishna became aware of this fact, he very kindly came to me along with his friend Arjuna and accepted me as his wife. Lord Krishna then took me away from the bank of Yamuna, and since then I have been engaged in the house of Lord Krishna as a sweeper, and the Lord is treating me as his wife." Unquote. After this, Mitravinda said to the mother Draupadi as follows, "My dear Draupadi, there was a great assembly of princes at my Swayamvaram ceremony. Lord Krishna was also present in that meeting, and he accepted me as his maidservant by defeating all the princes present there. He immediately took me away to Dwarka, exactly as a lion takes a deer from a pack of dogs. When I was thus taken away by Lord Krishna, my brothers wanted to fight with him, and later on they were defeated. Thus, my desire to become the maidservant of Krishna life after life was fulfilled." Unquote. After this, Satya addressed Draupadi in the following way. "My dear Draupadi, my father arranged for an assembly for my Swayamvaram, the personal selection of a husband. And in order to test the strength and heroism of the prospective bridegroom, my father stipulated that they each fight with his 7 ferocious bulls, which had long serpentine horns. Many heroic prospective bridegrooms tried to defeat the bulls, but unfortunately they were all severely struck. and they returned to their homes as defeated invalids. When Lord Sri Krishna came and fought with the bulls, they were just like plaything for him. He captured the bulls and roped each one of them by the nostrils. Thus they came under his control, just like a goats. Small kids come very easily under the control of children. My father became very pleased and married me with Lord Sri Krishna in great pomp, giving as my dowry many divisions of soldiers, horses, chariots, and elephants, along with hundreds of maidservants. Thus Lord Krishna brought me to his capital city Dwarka. On the way back, he was also assaulted by many princes, but Lord Krishna defeated all of them. And thus I have the privilege of serving his lotus feet as a maidservant. Unquote. After this, Bhadra began to speak. And she said, quote, "My dear Draupadi, Lord Krishna is the son of my maternal uncle. Fortunately, I become attracted to his lotus feet. When my father understood these feelings of mine, he personally arranged for my marriage, inviting Lord Krishna to marry me and giving him in a dowry one Akshauhini, a division of armed forces, along with many maidservants and other royal paraphernalia. I do not know whether I shall be able to have the shelter of Lord Krishna life after life, but still I pray to the Lord that whatever I may take my birth, I may not forget my relationship with his lotus feet." Unquote. Then Lakshmana said to Mother Draupadi, "My dear queen, many times I have heard the great sage Narad glorifying the pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna. Hearing this, I become attracted to the lotus feet of Krishna. When I heard Narad say that the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, was also attracted to his lotus feet, since then I have always been thinking of him, and thus my attraction for him has increased. My dear queen, my father was very affectionate toward me. When he understood that I was attracted to Krishna, he devised a plan. And his plan was like that devised by your father during the same birth. The prospective bridegrooms had to pierce the eyes of a fish with their arrows. The difference between the competition in your Swayamvar and mine was that in your case, the fish was hanging openly on the ceiling in clear view. But in my case, the fish was covered with a cloth and could only be seen by the reflections of the cloth in a pot of water. That was the special feature of my Swayamvar." This is Lakshmana. Quote, "The news of this device was spread all over the world, and when the princes heard of it, they arrived at my father's capital city from all directions, fully equipped with armor and guided by the military instructors. Each one of them desired to win me as his wife, and one after another they raised the bow and arrow which was left there for piercing the fish. Many could not even join the bowstring to the two ends of the bow, and without attempting to pierce the fish, They simply left the bow as it was and went away. Some, with great difficulty, drew the string from the one end to the other, and being unable to tie the other end, they were suddenly knocked down by the spring-like bow. My dear Queen, you will be surprised to know that at my Swayamvar meeting there were many famous kings and heroes were present. Heroes like Jarasandha, Ambasta, Sisupal, Bhimsena, Duryodhana, and Karna were of course able to string the bow, but they could not pierce the face because it was covered and they could not trace it out from the reflection. The celebrated hero of the Pandavas, Arjuna, was able to see the reflection of the face on the water. But although with great caution he traced out the location of the face and shot an arrow, he did not pierce the face in the right spot. His arrow at least touched the face, so he proved himself better than all other princes. Continued, all the princes who had tried to pierce the target were disappointed, being baffled in their attempts, and some candidate had even left the place without making an attempt. But when at last Lord Krishna took up the bow, he was able to tie the bowstring very easily, just as a child plays with a toy. He placed the arrow, and looking only once at the reflection of the fish in the water, he shot the arrow, and the fish immediately fell down. This victory of Lord Krishna was accomplished at noon during the moment called Abhijit, which is astronomically calculated as auspicious. At that time, the vibration of the Jai Jai was heard all over the world, and from the sky came sound of drums beat by the denizens of heaven. Great demigods were overwhelmed with joy, and what they do? They began to shower flowers on the earth. At that time, I entered the arena of competition, and the ankle bells on my leg were sounding very melodiously as I walked. I was nicely dressed with new silken garments. Flowers were decorating my hair, and because of Lord Krishna's victory, I was in ecstatic joy and smiling very pleasingly. We can make a nice movie. I was carrying in my hand a golden necklace bedecked with jewels, which was glitter at intervals. My curling hair encircled my face, which was shining with a bright luster due to the reflection of my various rings. My eyes blinking, I first of all observed all the princes present, and when I reached my lord, I very slowly placed the golden necklace on his neck. As I have already informed you, from the very beginning my mind had been attracted by Lord Krishna, and thus I consider the garlanding of the Lord to be my great victory. As soon as I placed my garland on the neck of the Lord, there sounded immediately the combined vibration of the mrudangas, patahas, conch shells, drums, kettle drums, and other instruments, causing a tremendous sound. And while the music played, expert male and female dancers began to dance, and singers began to sing sweetly. Continued. My dear Draupadi, when I accepted Lord Krishna as my worshipable husband, and he also accepted me as his maidservant, there was a tumultuous roaring among the disappointed princes. All of them became very agitated because of their lusty desire. But without caring for them, my husband, in his form as four-handed Narayan, immediately took me on his chariot, which was drawn by four excellent horses. Expecting opposition from the princess, he armored himself and took up his bow named Shringa. But our celebrated driver, Daruka, drove the beautiful chariot without a moment's delay toward the city of Dwarka. Thus, in the presence of all the princes, I was carried away very quickly, exactly as a deer is carried away from the flock by a lion. Some of the princes, however, wanted to check our progress, and thus, equipped with proper weapons, they opposed us, just as dogs try to oppose the progressive march of a lion. At that time, due to the arrows released by the Shunga bow of Lord Krishna, some of the princes were cut on their left hands. Some of them lost their legs, and some lost their heads and their lives, and others fled from the battlefield. She continued. The Supreme Personality Godhead then entered the most celebrated city of the universe, Dwarka. And as he entered the city, he appeared like the shining sun. The whole city of Dwarka was profusely decorated on that occasion. And there were so many flags and festoons and gates all over Dwarka that the sunshine could not even enter the city. I have already told you that my father was very much affectionate to me. So when he saw that my desire was fulfilled by getting Lord Krishna as my husband, in great happiness, he began to distribute to friends and relatives various kinds of gifts, such as valuable dresses, ornaments, bedsteads, and sitting carpets. Lord Krishna is always self-sufficient. Yet my father, out of his own accord, offered my husband a dowry consisting of riches, soldiers, elephants, chariot, horses, and many rare and valuable weapons. He presented all this to the Lord with great enthusiasm. My dear Queen Draupadi, at that time I could guess that in my previous life I must have performed some wonderfully past activity. And as a result, I can in this life be one of the maidservants in the house of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. She continued. When all the principal queens of Lord Krishna had finished their statements, Rohini, the representative of the other 16,000 queens, began to narrate the incident of their becoming wives of Krishna. So Rohini Devi is taking lead to explain the feelings of 16,000. Rohini Devi continued, my dear Queen Draupadi, when Bhaumasura was conquering all the world, he collected wherever possible all the beautiful daughters of the king and kept us arrested within his palace. When news of our imprisonment reached Lord Sri Krishna, he fought with Bhanasur and released us. Lord Krishna killed Bhaumasur and all his soldiers, and although he had no need to accept even one wife, he nevertheless, by our request, married all 16,000 of us. My dear Queen Draupadi, our only qualification was that we were always thinking of the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna. Wonderful. They are showing us the way to attain the lotus feet of Krishna. Constantly think about the feet of Krishna, which is the way to release oneself from the bondage of repeated birth and death. My dear Queen Draupadi, please take it from us that we are not after any opulence such as kingdom, empire, or a position of a heavenly enjoyment. We do not want to enjoy such material opulences, nor do we desire to achieve the yogic perfections, nor the exalted post of Lord Brahma, nor do we want any of the different kind of liberation, Shalokya, Shrasti, Samipya, and Sayujya. We are not at all attracted by any of these opulences. Our only ambition is to bear on our head, life after life, the dust particles attached to the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna. The goddess of fortune also desired to keep the dust on her breast, along with the fragrant saffron. We simply desire that this dust, which accumulates underneath the lotus feet of Krishna as he travels on the lands of Vrindavan as a cowherd boy. The gopis especially, and also the cowherd men and the aborigine tribes women always desire to become the grass and straw on the street of Vrindavan, to be trampled on by the lotus feet of Krishna. My dear Queen Draupadi, we wish to remain as such life after life without any other desire. What a single pointed desire. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purport of the second volume, 28th chapter of Krishna Draupadi meets the Queens of Krishna. Haribo. So now Vasudeva is holding the sacrificial ceremony. That's chapter 29. We will embark as we have 5 more minutes to go. Among the women present at Kurukshetra, this is wonderful scene. During the solar eclipse were Kunti Devi, Gandhari, Draupadi, Subhadra, and the queens of many other kings, as well as the gopis from Vrindavan. When the different queens of Lord Krishna were submitting their statement as to how they were married and accepted by Lord Krishna as his wives, all the female members of the Kuru dynasty were struck with wonder. They were filled with admiration at how all the queens of Krishna were attached to him with love and affection. When they heard about the queen's intensity of love and affection for Krishna, they could not check their eyes from filling up with tears. While the women were engaged in conversation among themselves, and the men were similarly engaged in conversation, they arrived almost all the important sages and ascetics from all directions who had come for the purpose of seeing Lord Krishna and Balaram. Chief among the sages were Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasdev, the great sage Narada, Chavana, Devala, Asita, Vishwamitra, Satananda, Bharadwaj, Gautam, and Lord Parshuram, along with his disciples, Vasistha Muni, Galava, Bhrugu, Pulasya, Kashyapa, Atri, Markandeya, Bruhspati, Dvita, Trita, Ekta, the four Kumaras, sons of Brahma, Sanat, Sananda, Sanatan, and Sanat Kumar, Angira and Agastya, Yagnavalkya, and Vamandev. Vamdev. Agastya Muni is the one who carried the Govardhan Parvat, right? And then he has the nature scroll and he put it in Braj, and that's it. Govardhan didn't move. As soon as the sages and ascetics arrived, all the kings, including Maharaj Yudhishthir and the Pandava and Lord Krishna and Balaram, immediately got up from their seats and offered the respect by bowing down to the universally respected sages. Krishna is showing us how humble we need to be. Exemplary life, he is putting himself. And we see the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, they imbibe this same mood. Sanatan Goswami offered thousands of obeisances to the deities and 2,000 obeisances to the devotees. But actually it says that when Sanatan Goswami was doing the parikrama of Govardhan, not just the 22 kilometer, but 36 kilometer long parikrama, every single person that Sanatan Goswami encountered, he offered his humble obeisances. That is required. And when I see these 25 kids, actually, I don't know that if the Pramod Jivan Swami Maharaj is still in Houston, I would like to meet with him, I asked, Maharaj, that please give us the blessings so we can attract also the young generation. And I'm thinking more and more, so I have communicated with the leaders to see if I get 15-20 minutes of his association to see that, every person has some unique thing. And he was really, really very, very, very mild. And I think this is the only what is that sect? I forgot. Swaminarayan Maharaj has given little discourse couple of times in Gauranga Hall. And when it was reminded, then Maharaj really held my hand. He said, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Very, very kind person. Let's see if I get a chance to spend little time to know what is their sadhana, how they practice their sadhana. That they become so detached that it's very hard to give up that attachment. So let's see if Maharaj is still in Houston, I don't know. But at least he has blessed us. He said, you don't need, actually Maharaj told me that you are a pujari of the beautiful deities in Houston temple. You have all the blessings. That's what Maharaj told me when I asked the blessings. It's very nice to meet with those personalities, and spend the time and learn from them, Really, really nice. So it's already 6:56. Thank you very much. I don't know how many days this thought will be dwelling in my mind, and maybe, I may hurt your feeling. But I love you all. I have no ill feeling toward anyone. But I think it's absolutely necessary if you are sincere to go back to go Krishna's sloka. That's important. So with those thoughts, I would like to appreciate and offer my humble obeisances at the desk of these wonderful Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis who take austerity on a single day to give their kind association. Without their help, I don't think that my devotion may have gone to this level that I have. So I'm really eternally in debt. Actually, sometimes I use those harsh word and the message just because I love. And I feel and I have realized that this material world is a terrible place. And I want to see all of you can get delivered in this life. So please understand my mood, not to criticize anyone who I am. I myself is so fallen. So anyway, I would like to offer my humble obeisances at the desk of these wonderful devotees who joined from Houston, Fresno, New Hampshire. I hope actually I sent that message to Connecticut that Advaita Chandra Prabhu used to join. And I think long time ago, he sent me the text message on WhatsApp that he's traveling or something during the summertime. And that's the reason he may not be able to join. And I don't know, I was thinking today that this is not an excuse. As long as you are in the US, you must be chanting during the Brahma Muhurta. You have to chant in during the Brahma Muhurta because you are a devotee. So I was thinking that Pacific, like California and from the Portland, the devotees are joining. They are 2 hours behind us. So still they are joining at, their time 4 o'clock. And what to speak of the north part, they are ahead of us. And we are chanting, I wrote to Prabhuji, that Prabhuji, we are chanting from 2 a.m. Central Standard Time to 8 a.m. No matter wherever you are in the US, these 6 hours must fall for your Brahma Muhurta. And you must be chanting. And I want to see that you join. Why you are fine? Is there any excuse? I wrote him like that. Anyway, let's see how the Prabhuji will respond. Because I have a very good loving relations with him because I remember exactly that, I wear this band. My life belongs to Krishna. So I was in the Naperville temple and I was distributing this handwrist to everyone. Mataji's pink color and Prabhu's blue color. So I have no band left. Everyone come and they collect for me. So I was out of that wristband. And this, Advaita Chandra Prabhu came to me and he begged me, Prabhu, can I have that wristband? I really want it. And, just to be compassionate, I removed from my hand and I give it to him. I said, you are lucky that you are getting who I am, but still I was wearing that. So you get that, my wristband personal. So he said, I feel so fortunate. And then he was joining every single day so nicely. I think he was also joining at 2 o'clock every day because he's in Connecticut. So 1 hour at least ahead, I don't know, maybe 2 hours, who knows. I'm not familiar with those timing zones, but at least 1 hour early. So today he came in my thought and I sent him the message that, Prabhu, what happened? What kind of excuse you are giving me? I'm not convinced about that excuse that you are traveling. Who is not traveling? Everyone travels. That doesn't mean we should not chant around in the Brahma Muhurta. Anyway, I liked him so much. So I think that I want to chant until 8 o'clock for my God brother also. But I'm running behind. Yesterday I was working until 9 o'clock because I'll be leaving on Saturday early morning. So I don't think that this Saturday I will be able to join because I will be driving early morning. I normally start around 3:30 and I continuously drive, me and Shyamalavi. Shyamvalavi will not drive. I'm alone. And we make only one stop, 10-15 minutes, just to clean the body. And so I have to take care of my garden, and it's getting really hot. Last night I was working until 9 o'clock to trim my uh, the ground covering, which has white, green, and pink leaves. It looks so beautiful. But it grows so nicely. If you don't trim that constantly, it can go everywhere, and it's difficult. So, and then once I come back from North Carolina, I have only day and a half, and then I'll be flying out to India. So I have to take care of my garden today. And while I will do the gardening, I'll be chanting my rounds. I have always in my mind these pictures. How to chant 108 mantras while you do gardening. So it's in my mind and heart. So I will continue chanting with you, but I don't think that I will be present with you physically. And hopefully also today we will be visiting 2 properties in Hampstead area. Other day we visited 20 miles west of Katy freeway, but that property we didn't like it. So we will be visiting a couple of property in Hampstead. It looks so beautiful. I don't know. And also I like one property in Navasutta. So we will see where Krishna wants to have his center somewhere. We depend on our Guru Parampara and Nilamadhava. Wherever they desire, that will happen. So very intense. And then 10 o'clock I have the hydrotherapy. We want to cleanse our gut before we go to India. And already I have set up the appointment in November. When we come back, we will clean our gut again. This is very, very helpful to keep toxin free, so you can remain fearless about any sickness. Also, I heard that Devendra Krishna Prabhu has some problem in her hand. Prabhuji, how you are feeling? I have been praying for you. I heard yesterday. Shyamvalavi was telling me. Devendra Krishna Prabhu, are you there? Or Sumitra Mataji? Both of them are not there, huh? I don't know. Shyamvalavi is telling me that Prabhu hurt his hand and some treatment is required. I feel sorry for Prabhu. They are very dedicated, very hardworking couple. So I think I will, with so many heart feeling in my heart, to leave your kind association. But I need to maintain my garden, at least to live in a nice situation. Then I will see how I can, while in my absence, I will assign someone to at least do some basic things. And then when I come back, I'll put a lot of effort to rejuvenate my garden again, if it's depleted in any way. And beautiful, yesterday the picture that I sent, some of the picture I did, and I have written Radhe also with the green grass. It's called dwarf mundo grass. Always remain very dark green. It doesn't grow. You don't have to trim, maybe once a year little. It can take a lot of heat. It can take the freezing temperature. Wonderful grass. But it has some flowers naturally grow, So I don't want to remove this wonderful flowering plant. And it cover little bit the Radha name. And behind that, that's a backdrop that I didn't take the picture, but it's so beautiful, so healthy. Last night when I was watering a little bit, I said, man, I should have taken that picture also. It's so healthy. Now I learned the technique. When winter comes, I just cut it down from the ground, even though they are blooming at that time. As soon as I will receive the forecast that freezing temperature is ahead of us, then I will cut everything through the ground and it come back very nicely. At least 80%, 90%, all the plant has come back. So that's a great thing. Otherwise, it costs so much money to buy those expensive plants. So let me go and work a little bit to trim it out and everything before I have to go for hydrotherapy treatment, and then we will be visiting those couple of places in Hempstead, 1 hour drive from Houston. And in the evening, I will have to still chant for my God brother. I have promised him, but Manmatha Anand Prabhu, he wrote me, Prabhuji, I hate to see you, you have to chant 80 rounds. I will chant 4 rounds for you. I said, okay. So I had to chant 12 more rounds. But I will share with Gauranga Prabhu that Manmatha Anand Prabhu has promised, and I can trust him that he will chant extra 4 rounds. Because he always join at 3 o'clock, Manmatha Anand Prabhu, Atulya Mataji. These are really, really staunch. You will see the name at 3 o'clock sharp. It won't become 3:01. I'm so happy to see that determination. Hope I can get those determination one day from their life, an example. So nice to see like that. Okay, Prabhu, we have spoke today, and please forgive me if I have offended any one of you. That was not my intentions. But one thing is for sure, that something I feel is absolutely necessary to go back home, back to Godhead. I have to convey that message to you. Otherwise, I'm not your well-wisher. I'm not your friend. And I don't love you. If that is the case, I don't want to keep superficial relationship. I want to have a deep relationship with all of us. And deep relationship goes when you can reveal your mind and heart with no hesitations. And I think only in that mood I show my little anger, because I have learned from my Guru Maharaj. He will never, the devotee who wrote those comments, I was behind him. He is very dear devotee. I have very loving relationship with him. He is my Siksha Guru actually. But I was so heavy because I wrote him that your thought was not good. I don't agree with it. And that's why I have to become hard to take it out, that thought from your mind, because it's not good thought. When I heard, I have heard it. Believe me, in Bhakti Bruksha in Houston, because so many devotees out of town, there is a talk I heard. Oh, this temple have a money, so we don't have to give. What a nonsense thought. Krishna is the richest person. Why you want to envy Radhanela Madhava? Does it gain you anything by saying, oh, he is the richest, so I don't have to give him money? That devotion is useless, I'm telling you. Useless. Don't claim that you are the servitor of the Radhanela Madhava. Even though you are living, go to the place. Don't stay in Houston. If you have love some other deities, which is completely all right, take complete shelter of that deity then don't stay in Houston. If you stay in Houston, you dedicate your deity in Houston. If you're living in Portland, dedicate your deity in Portland. And when I travel, devotee give the donation. I don't know why they give, because I'm a Grihastha. But they give because they said, oh, somebody announced in the Naperville that whenever you hear some katha from someone, we should give. I never bring that money to me, to Nila Madhava. I put for the Radha Shyam Sundar over there in Naperville temple. I didn't accept. Only I accept the ticket given by Priyanka Mataji, because she said, no, Prabhu, I want to invite you, stay with my home. So I stayed with her, so I accepted the donations. She bought me a ticket. But I don't accept, because that money belongs to that deity. Simple is that. And if you love some other deities, go and stay there and show them. Who is stopping you? Nobody's stopping you. But don't neglect your local deity. Deity will never speak. They will always smile at you. They don't need you or anything. Do you think that, the Radha Nila Madhava is sustaining because of your donation? Pity thought. What a fallen thought you have. He doesn't need anything from us. I have complete, faith I have seen in my career with taking care of the deity for 32 years. Radha Nila Madhava, all the deities in ISKCON is self-manifested. Krishna is present personally. Don't negate that thought from your mind. They are Supreme Personality of Godhead. Don't make that offense like that and try to make advancement in spiritual life. I really, a couple of devotees, when I find it out that they donated so heavily to your VP and they haven't done a darn thing for Houston Temple. And very close friend of mine, like that. I was helping them managing the money even. And without, they give money. And I can't accept it. I told him that this is nonsense. So I don't want to get harsh and harsh. But really, we have to become detached with the money. This is the honey. And if you cannot give to Krishna, that's why it's not to show my credential. Please do not think like that. When I say something, it's not to promote myself or to present that I'm better than you. No. Only reason I speak those things that I have seen in my life, that Nila Madhava, he can do everything. See that how much donation. So any temple in ISKCON worldwide that they have given that much money to other temples. If your intentions are clear, everything happens. It's not that I should take the credit. Credit goes to Radha Nila Madhava. And that's what I say, that he will take care nicely. So don't think that you are helping Radha Nila Madhava. We need his help. And we need to show that contribution, that here is Krishna. You are part of my life. If you have 2 children, just consider his 3rd children. How much we spend? Divide your asset in 3rd part and give 1/3 to Radha Nila Madhava. Then you see how much he will give it to you. I don't have no money when I become TP. Even I don't have money to pay electricity bill. I have to beg every Sunday, whichever bill is coming next. And look at that, what happened. I was able to, means don't think that Shyam Sundar is talking him, but Radha Nila Madhava becomes so pleased that make us so qualified that we can even help so many other temples. That glory goes to Tamal Krishna Maharaj and Radha Nila Madhava, all other saintly persons. So keep that momentum, share something, dedicate. Krishna will give us. Have a faith. In my life, I never earn more than 49,000 a year. And I have lived very nice life. I have never felt any shortage of material, money-wise. Give to Krishna and you can receive. Ambrish Prabhu. Look at that. He's a billionaire. Why he's billionaire? Because he is using his money for Krishna's service. If you want to become billionaire, spend $1 million to Krishna. You will become billionaire. Believe me. Particularly to those, whoever is sincere, So please don't feel that I'm trying to push you, but it is essential that one thing I can say, that if you are sincere to go back home, back to Godhead, you must dedicate. Show your life that I have done dedication to Krishna. And you know how much strength you will gain when you leave this world. You will be so proud. Proud in not in the sense that I did, but you will feel satisfied in your heart that Krishna and Guru are so kind that allow me to render the service at the divine lotus feet. And that feeling before you leave this world is so sublime. Nothing will help. A lot of pain will be there. And the most regrettable pain would be, Krishna gave me so much, I didn't use it in his service. Our son, next generation doesn't need our money. My daughter and my son say that, Daddy, we don't need anything from you. They don't need anything, then why we are holding? And that's the main